Mulatto 2 and Cobra. Mulatto 2 is the Rolls Royce of Bracharia right now. It is grown universally around the world as the primary source of protein in grass for milk cattle. It stimulates milk. The leaves are broader, more succulent, and very, very easy for the goats to eat. The one from Napri, Cobra, the leaves are narrower, they are not as green, and they harden. Cattle plug, you used the word earlier now. Lignification is the word. I don't know how to say it.
Maybe we can say fibrous.
They become tough.
Yeah.
Very quickly. Yeah. Unlike these ones that have been improved in breeding. Just go Mulatto 2. If you like, you can go to Brazil, go to Mexico. It's the dominant Bracharia that people are planting, both for cows and horses. If it's good for cows and horses, it's good for my goats.
Perfect. Thank you very much. At Cattle Plug, you want to say something on that?
I think we should just be concerned about what is available to us and what will work with us. If you are talking about Bracharia, we have more than 100 species. Even in Africa, we have more than 67. So most of the Bracharia we have in Nigeria is Rusinensis.
Okay.
Most of them.
Yes.
Some people call it Rusi. So that is the bulk of the Bracharia we have in Nigeria. Then we have Mulatto. Some farmers have Mulatto, but I tell the people what I am selling is Rusi. I will not tell you it's Mulatto because I don't have Mulatto, and the source of my seed have Rusi. So if I tell you I'm selling Mulatto, I am lying. Mulatto, you will not get Mulatto at the rate of 4,000 naira per kg. Even a kg may be around 15,000 naira if it is real Mulatto. But let us just be clear to ourselves. We have a lot of them out there. So what Uncle have just said, we just go with that. But what is mostly available is Rusi in Nigeria. So any farmer that is not having access to the other can start with that because it's growing and it's easy to access. It's easy to access. Maybe with time, when we can get the cuttings, the sprouts of other species from our uncles, and we can get it in our farm. But what is available to us? There are plenty of them, but let's just stick to what is available to us around here. We will
thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much at Cattle Plug. I want to round up this section now, but I'm going to ask 2 more questions on this section. But please, someone should help us get Vet Bamidele to join us up. Someone should call him on phone, let him join us up. At Cattle Plug.
Yes, sir.
Is elephant grass enough? Our local elephant grass, is it enough for our goats and cattle?
The answer is just no.
So we cannot get good animals from feeding them elephant grass?
I lie. It's not possible. Let me just come from the Fulani angle. Yes. People say Fulani are grazing their animals. They are doing very fine and they like. No, they are not doing very fine. If you look at the number of years they take to get the weight, is very, very long. And how are they just robust during the rainy season? This is it. Because they graze in large area of land, they are able to pick varieties of grasses. You see them cutting trees for them. They cut your malina, they cut your moringa. When they come across some trees that are palatable, they cut it for them. That is why they are doing fine averagely. But if you enclose your animal, you put it in a cage, and you are feeding only what do we call panicum, it's not going to work. People will just, you are just starving the goat. It's like someone that is eating, even rice is a very good food. We eat rice in Christmas. That's it. Because we celebrate rice, we eat it in Christmas. But if you continue eating it every day, you get kwashiorkor, or you start dropping weight. So that is the same thing. That grass is just high, it's just a kind of energy source. The protein is very low, And goat need nutrient beyond just energy source. So it's not just going to work. Let's just stop it there. So the animals also need varieties, and they have their nutrient requirements. As much as it is not met, it's not going to work.
Thank you very much, at Cattle Plug. Thank you so very much. I want to ask one kind of a funny question. It may be funny, but our traditional people have a way of believing some things. Are there feeds you can feed to your animals that will determine the gender that the animals will produce?
I don't believe. I'm a Christian. So I think there is a science in the Bible that influence the color codes. I can't remember who did it. Is it Isaac or someone that did that? That he was using a herb and the color code when he wants to distribute when he wants to share with his in-law. That he said, the animal that is green, the animal that is brown are mine. This one that is dotted is mine. But with feed, I am not sure if there's anything. My science has not proven that with feed. So that's it.
Thank you very much, sir. At Red Goat Farm, can you say something about that joke?
Ogami, there's a science which is practiced here in South Africa extensively. It is used to multiply specific lines, usually a part of selective breeding, and it's called embryo placement. Okay. They take the embryo, they check the sex that they want, and they put it back inside. And they do it for goats too. You can buy sexed embryos. Cryogenically, they will tell you that this is a male or a female embryo, and then you will place it. The science I know. But this feed business, well, when I see it, I might be inclined to believe it, but I have not come across it yet. I unfortunately have a science background. Some of these things, there is a predisposition, and you could have it in a feed, but I haven't come across it yet. In commercial farming, we can't dwell on this. The odds are too high. You have to focus on where your odds are better.
Thank you very much, sir, Mr. Red Goat Farm. We are in another section now. This section, we want to talk much on silage. Silage. First of all, Mr. Red Goat Farm is an expert in silage. Cattle Plug has done silage for a lot of farms. I want to ask a question. What is silage? As Mr. Red Goat Farm, please take that. What is silage?
I don't know if silage has a definition. Silaging is a process. It's a process of preservation. The closest perhaps will be how we make locust bean, iru. Or from where my mother comes from, something called ori, which is fermented guinea corn that they make and they eat it like moi moi. Yes. The science is quite straightforward. You cover something and cause anaerobic fermentation to happen. And therefore, the anaerobic fermentation expels the aerobic bacteria and it does not spoil anymore. It just stays there. The acidity goes down. It becomes somewhat sharp in the mouth if you taste it. And there are things that you can do to make it better and store nutrient for your food. So it's a process that allows us store our surplus in the rainy season into the dry season and carry a lot of food that we can use at our own free will.
Thank you very much, sir. Cattle Plug.
Okay. He has explained what silage is. What I would just add is silage is a kind of fermented food, because the major science happening in silage is fermentation. So it's a system of preserving forage in an anaerobic medium And this medium fermentation comes up, and these fresh grass can be preserved for a very long period of time. So silage is a wet, preserved forage that has been fermented and can last for a very long period of time in an anaerobic condition. So it is fermented, it is in wet basis, because we have aleage, which is not silage. Aleage is more with lesser water than silage. So the next one is A after aleage. So silage is with more water, more moisture content, because the grass retains the moisture content, and it is fermented in an anaerobic condition. As he has said, the taste becomes a kind of sharp. That is due to the acidity and the pH. So that is just silage. A kind of preservation that you preserve your forage in an anaerobic condition with a fermentation pathway. Thank you.
Just to add, it's not just grass. It's not just grass that you can put through silage. For those who have access to brewery waste,
cassava peel,
the best ways is to dry it, but you lose some things, including the smell, the yeasty smell, if you dry it. You can silage it, and it will still keep that yeasty smell, which is extremely attractive to goats for palatability purposes. They will eat it well.
Yeah. Cassava peel, you can preserve, cassava peel. I have been doing cassava peel recently, because in my area, we have a lot of cassava peel during the rainy season, and the Fulani will not go to the place during the rainy season. So at first, we collect it from them at almost very cheap price, and we enzyme. So you can enzyme a lot of things.
I'm going to get to that at Mr. Cattle Blog. You're going to explain to us how you incite cassava peel. But I want to add at this point in time that anaerobic ensiling simply means tying the silage inside nylon so that oxygen will not enter. You remove every oxygen from the nylon, you compact it, you press it, you tie the nylon to make sure that air does not enter. That is anaerobic ensiling.
Yeah.
It can be enhanced. You can use molasses to enhance it, and you can also use some other things to ensile it. Good, to make sure that it ferments. After fermenting, because oxygen is not entering, it will not spoil, it will not rotten, it will not produce mucus.
Yeah.
Because oxygen is not entering. So you can keep it down for close to 2 years.
Yeah.
That's the big grammar. That's our professors have been speaking since.
Yes.
Just tie the thing, don't let air enter, and keep it somewhere. And because you need to ferment, you need a level or a source of sugar.
Yeah.
Which is molasses or some other things, which we are going to get into now. I want to ask because it is not all plants that are good for silage.
Yeah.
There are some plants we can use for silage without molasses. So I'm going to ask our guest speakers at this point in time, let them explain to us. They are professionals in silage making. Red Goat Farm has tons of silage of different varieties. So please explain to us, should I use the word categorically? Most of our participants are not professors, and we must come down to earth with them so that the seminar will reach them in a way where they can understand. I said it. I think in subsequent seminar, or maybe one of our in-house team, we're going to get pictures of grasses and their names, because silage, Baccaria, Bolatu, Lab, Mokuna. I don't even know Mokuna. And our doctors, Dr. Mokulu Washo and the Red Goat Farm, were trying to show off Mokuna plants. I was not able to zoom on it. Most people are listening.
You know, go primary school for Niger.
Very quick.
They don't put her inside teacher. They don't put her inside teacher clothes for your side. Now that's the way they scratch person for body now.
Is it the devil bees?
Yes. Yes. That's just it.
Okay. So you see, so that's why I say down to earth. And so the devil bees used to be secondary school.
That is Mukuna.
Okay, I said it. So we will be down to earth. So at this point, I want to ask us, especially Red Goat Farm, you're going to list for us number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. What are the type of grass? What are the type of plants? Let me not use the word grass, because when I use the word grass, it limits my point. What are the type of plants we can use for silage making?
Okay.
The different types.
Type of feed material. Put feed material.
Good.
Let me start from what you shouldn't use alone. Remember, we're trying to get a balanced feed ready for the goats. So
yes.
Silaging just one item, for me, does not necessarily cut it. What we try to do is we take advantage of what's going on around us. As early as June, July, around us, people will start harvesting groundnuts.
Yes.
So we compete with Fulanis to get the green parts, and we sile it. We, at that time, do not have crops that are ready on our farm, so we use our grass. But the ratio now will be higher. The grass will be less because grass does not have carbohydrate of the level that you need to cause fermentation to happen. In addition to the granite tops and the grass, we add sugarcane.
Sugarcane?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Because this one that we are doing, that pit in particular, we don't feed it to the animals purely. We use it to mix other silage when we are going to serve it. So this one is fortified. We also add grains that we have in storage, including guinea corn,
yes,
or millets. Anything that we can scrape around us, particularly pigeon peas. I don't know what it's called. Kajanus Kajan. Maybe Katuflo can help me. It's called Otili in Yoruba. We put the leaves, we put the bark. You remember the bark of the devil beans from last year? That one that is scratching people, the bark. We put everything in and we cover it. What happens is that it becomes, you don't want the temperature to be high. If it's high there, you know that you are not ensiling. You want the temperature to drop.
Yeah.
You want it to not swell.
Yeah.
You don't want it. We add one thing, and I've told you we use it on our farm a lot. We add EMAS, which is a concentrate of lactic acid. It's actually lactobacillus. It's bacteria. So what that does is it causes the conditions to be right for silaging. That is our normal first pit. By August, then we start real war. This is when we are sweating and we do 7-8 hours a day trying to fill one pit. By that time, they are harvesting beans, the first set of beans in Abuja. We send our tractors all over the place and we gather all the tops of the beans. We add to that what we can now cut from our own field, usually millet or sorghum. And this is where we do a lot of volume. To that pit, we add some of the dry hay from last year because you have to condition it for it not to be too wet. Remember, this is the heart of the rainy season for us. The moisture content of these plants are very high. So you have to regulate the moisture content. So we would use chopped grass or chopped hay from the year before that we also
dried ones
to make, we have a judgment. The boys know what to do now to ensure that it's not too wet. We add our bacteria to it. We add now urea to that. There's a formula that you use to calculate how much urea. We add urea to it, but listen, don't be scared about it. For 1 ton, you don't need
fertilizer.
Yes, pure fertilizer. Well, in other countries, they sell animal grade urea, which goes into the food. You can mix it with the food and give it to the goats. Don't give it to monogastrics, please, they will die. But to ruminants, they will eat it and they will be better for it. You can substitute the protein that is required in a goat to up to 30-40% with urea, direct urea. So remember, we are creating silage. We want it to be as round as possible in terms of coverage. So we add urea to it. Then we add molasses solution. It means you have a 1:10 ratio of molasses, 1 cup of molasses to 9 cups of water. You mix it, you put the urea in it, we spray it on as we are cutting the things that we are cutting. And chopping, well, we have this big machine that we are making guru. So everything is dripping and we are mixing it and the boys are inside jumping on it. Then we have to seal it.
To get air out. Yeah, jumping on it to get air out.
They jump on it to get air out. We have to remember that we are using pits. We have layered our pit with 2 lines of plastic. They jump on it, we put the next layer, they jump on it. Then at the end, we put planks on it and we use a vibrating machine as they use for cleaning stone. That will force it to go down. We have some old axles that we use